We're told when we're kids that we can do whatever we want when we grow up. But what I wanted to do when I grew up was to put robots into space. This is kind of tied with becoming a comic book hero, but I mean, between that and putting robots into space, robots seemed a little bit more realistic. What with me not having access to radioactive spiders or the financial means to build a special suit of armor, just robots just seemed a little bit more attainable. My dad was a big influence on me when I was a kid. He got me into comics. He got me into science fiction. But the biggest thing he got me into that I will always be grateful for is Star Wars. Now, seeing someone else being able to put these robots, the fact that they're nonfiction, doesn't really hold any gravity over a 10-year-old boy, into space like that, with it seeming so real and just so funny, you just kind of forget the robots at some point in the movies. That just really blew my mind away. And then it wasn't before too long that people started using special effects in other ways to bring alive my comics and not just my science fiction interests. People were doing movies like Iron Man in 2008 with Incredible Hulk. And then, then came the Avengers, which is a really big deal for me because nobody's ever combined comic book characters like that into one film without it just coming off too cheesy. It just blew my mind. And I just decided from that point on that it wasn't so much putting robots into space as much as it was bringing the fantastic to life. That was my real passion. And I discovered this through computer animation. Enough about me though. What you guys need is a 3D generalist. Now, what does it really take to do this job right? What sort of skills does this person need? Someone who can do a couple little things here and there. That's probably good enough, right? You can always build from there. But ideally, though, you would have somebody who's already proficient in several skill areas. Those areas are as follows. Now, obviously, you need somebody who can create in 3D space, who can model, maybe even do a little bit of sculpting in ZBrush, maybe even Mudbox. But not only should they be able to create, but they should be able to do it within a time frame while still accomplishing the fantastic. Textures are just that little something that take a little simple sphere into being a tennis ball, or maybe a basketball, or hey, maybe even a robot head. These things make the difference. We're not just talking about throwing a shade of red on there and calling it a day. Textures should include color, of course, but it should also go beyond that. We need bump maps, texture maps, of course, and the details to make the models tangible to our audience. They should feel like they could reach out and touch it, and it would be real as it would in our world. Shading is another thing that makes it more realistic. Having a 3D model in 3D space would all be a waste if the scene is completely flat. The candidates should be able to use lighting in combination with luminosity maps, which make certain areas shiny or more reflective than others, and also bounce back light more than others. And they should be able to use these maps to accentuate the depth, dimension, and overall atmosphere of a scene. Animation. The candidate should then be able to animate their characters in the scene effectively, smoothly, and again within the given time restraints. FX simulation. There's a reason we do these things in a computer program and not in an LA backlot. 4th of July wouldn't be any fun without the fireworks. You've got to wow the audience with perfectly executed special effects. And finally, we have compositing. Here's where they need to bring it all together. The candidate should show an adept ability to combine the 3D elements with the film elements into one cohesive picture. The lighting and shading should accent and match each other. Now, even with all these skills, your ideal candidate should know how to be professional in the workplace, have a strong rooting in a team-based atmosphere, and would preferably have received awards or commendation for said skills. So to sum it all up, you need somebody who possesses these 3D skills, who has creativity, and will also be an effective part of your team. But above all, you want someone with a passion for the work, someone who really lives to create in 3D, maybe even someone who's always dreamed of putting robots into space. Thank you.